Most of the time when we talk about ancient philosophy, the focus is around male philosophers. But if you look closely, you can see that there were also great female philosophers. In this video, we'll be analyzing Hypatia, the Neoplatonist. Born in around 350 to 370 AD, in Alexandria of Egypt, Hypatia taught philosophy and astronomy. Although preceded by Pandrosian, another Alexandrian female mathematician, she is the first female mathematician whose life is reasonably well recorded. Hypatia was renowned in her own lifetime as a great teacher and a wise counselor. She wrote a commentary on Diophantus's 13-volume Arithmetica, which may survive in part, having been interpolated into Diophantus's original text, and another commentary on Apollonius of Perga's treatise on conic sections, which has not survived. Many modern scholars also believe that Hypatia may have edited the surviving text of Ptolemy's Almagest, based on the title of her father Theon's commentary on Book 3 of the Almagest. Hypatia has been described as a universal genius, but she was probably more of a teacher and commentator than an innovator. No evidence has been found that Hypatia ever published any independent works on philosophy, and she does not appear to have made any groundbreaking mathematical discoveries. During Hypatia's time period, scholars preserved classical mathematical works and commented on them to develop their arguments rather than publishing original works. It has also been suggested that the closure of the Mouseion and the destruction of the Serapeum may have led Hypatia and her father to focus their efforts on preserving seminal mathematical books and making them accessible to their students. The Suda mistakenly states that all of Hypatia's writings have been lost, but modern scholarship has identified several works by her as extant. This kind of authorial uncertainty is typical of female philosophers from antiquity. Hypatia wrote in Greek, which was the language spoken by most educated people in the Eastern Mediterranean at the time. In classical antiquity, astronomy was seen as being essentially mathematical in character. Furthermore, no distinction was made between mathematics and numerology or astronomy and astrology. One of Synesius's letters describes Hypatia as having taught him how to construct a silver plane astrolabe as a gift for an official. An astrolabe is a device used to calculate date and time based on the positions of the stars and planets. It can also be used to predict where the stars and planets will be on any given date. A little astrolabe, or plane astrolabe, is a kind of astrolabe that used stereographic projection of the celestial sphere to represent the heavens on a plane surface, as opposed to an armillary sphere which was globe-shaped. Armillary spheres were large and normally used for display, whereas a plane astrolabe was portable and could be used for practical measurements. The statement from Synesius's letter has sometimes been wrongly interpreted to mean that Hypatia invented the plane astrolabe, but the plane astrolabe was in use at least 500 years before Hypatia was born. Hypatia may have learned how to construct a plane astrolabe from her father Theon, who had written 2 treatises on astrolabes, one entitled Memoirs on the Little Astrolabe, and another study on the armillary sphere in Ptolemy's Almagest. Theon's treatise is now lost, but it was well known to the Syrian bishop Severus Sebokht, who describes its contents in his own treatise on astrolabes. Hypatia and Theon may have also studied Ptolemy's Planispherium, which describes the calculations necessary in order to construct an astrolabe. Synesius's wording indicates that Hypatia did not design or construct the astrolabe, but acted as a guide and mentor during the process of constructing it. Hypatia's philosophy was rooted in Neoplatonism, which posited that reality is a series of emanations from the One, the ultimate source of all existence. Her teachings often explored the nature of the soul and the pursuit of knowledge as a path to spiritual enlightenment, concerned with the approach to the One, an underlying reality partially accessible via the human power of abstraction from the Platonic forms, themselves abstractions from the world of everyday reality. Her philosophy also led her to embrace a life of dedicated virginity. Hypatia's life and work have been celebrated as symbols of intellectual freedom and the pursuit of knowledge. She remains an inspiration for scholars and feminists alike, representing the struggle against ignorance and fanaticism. Hypatia's story has been the subject of various works of literature, art, and film, highlighting her contributions to science and her tragic end. She is often depicted as a martyr for philosophy and reason. A matter of fact, the asteroid 238 Hypatia and the lunar crater Hypatia are named in her honor, commemorating her contributions to science and her enduring legacy. Hypatia's life and tragic death underscore the enduring tension between knowledge and power, and her legacy continues to inspire those who value intellectual freedom and the pursuit of wisdom.